I'm Belinda Mendez, I'm 32 years old, and I'm a cook. My grandmother, Ana Mendez, was the most legendary cook in Chicago. She cooked out of her own kitchen for 50 restaurants, for stuffed apprentices her desserts, they fed whole blocks. When she passed, she left behind a handwritten cookbook, leather cover, over 300 pages. Every single handwriting was in life's work. I'd sit in the corner of her chup onions, stir sauces, breathe in the smells rising from the pot. The cookbook was locked in a safe in her old house. Every weekend, I'd go over, open to one page, and learn handwriting was messy. Some recipes were in Spanish. Measurements were things like a handful, a pinch. It took me 3 years to learn half of what she knew. It felt like cracking a code. Every page, I went to the old house and found the safe open and little drops of grease.
Belinda, this cookbook is yours. Don't let anyone take it from you.
I didn't understand why she said that. I was 25, just out of culinary school, dreaming of Michelin stars. I didn't care about the cookbook, I cared about my own name. I was wrong. Those pages, her handwriting, they were more valuable than anything else she could have left me. Her kitchen wasn't big, maybe 150 square feet, cast iron stove, wooden cutting board, and all kinds of spoons hanging a little she chopped. She was always humming old Mexican songs, shaking her head, just remember the taste. Remembered the callos on her fingers, the grease stains on her apron, the wrinkles when she smiled. She was my first teacher. It was early morning. Sunlight came through the window and fell on that empty safe, left nothing left but dust on the metal. My heart stopped for half a beat. I called my sister-in-law, Vivian. She's the CEO to marry the family ran Lucas around 15 years grew. She took over what Grandma left into a chains of 30. On the phone, her voice was calm, taking didn't matter. Belinda, the cookbook is gone. I've looked everywhere, nowhere. Maybe someone stole it. I've already called the police.
You're sure?
Yes, I had people search the whole house.
Who would steal an old cookbook?
Maybe someone's jealous of the Mendez business. You know how it is, when you get big, people come after you. I didn't ask any more questions. But inside I was already suspicious. She and I were the only ones who knew the combination. Mine, grandma's birthday. Hers? I didn't know. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in my kitchen, staring at his grandma's traces were still there. But she wasn't. The rain hit the window. It sounded like someone crying. The next day I went to the corporate headquarters to see Vivian. The building is in downtown Chicago. Glass and steel, 38 floors. In the lobby there's a huge portrait of my grandmother, right next to the Mendez Group logo. Security knew who I was and sent me straight to the top floor. Her office is on the top floor to Philly, windows facing Lake Michigan. Water was gray-blue, the same color as the sky, they just blended together. On her desk, a photo of Grandma and a shelf of awards. On the wall, photos of all 30 branches, her whole empire. The whole office smelled like new furniture, not like a kitchen at all.
Belinda, I understand how you feel, but it's just an old cookbook. The recipes are professional-haired gentles, aren't they?
It's not the same. That's Grandma's handwriting.
The handwriting doesn't matter. What matters is the taste. You can still cook those dishes, so what difference does it make whether you have books? She was smiling, but I could see it didn't matter. Her shifting away. She didn't ask me what I wanted to do about finding it. She poured me a cup of coffee. It was cold, with little drops of condensation on the outside. She didn't even notice. That was always her, always charging ahead, missing the little things. I walked around the office and ended up at the R&D department. R&D is on the 23rd floor, glass doors closed tight. Through the glass I saw something familiar, a printed recipe sheet. The types were numbered, classic stew, like a business document, not like a recipe at all. They didn't come up with this themselves. This was word for word from Grandma's cookbook. I pushed the door open and asked the R&D director, where did this recipe come from? His face changed. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, not typing.
You'll have to ask Vivian. Looking down at his desk, he wouldn't meet my eyes.
Then I understood. Vivian didn't lose the cookbook. She took it. She trademarked the recipes and turned Grandma's secrets into company assets. That book was meant for me, not for some corporation. I stood in the hallway, my palms sweating, my nails digging into my skin. The elevator doors opened and closed. No one got out. The hallway lights were harsh and white. The white walls bounced back my own reflection. I leaned against the wall and took a deep breath. Grandma had said, "Don't let anyone take it from you." I didn't think much of it back then. Now I knew why she said it. She'd seen this coming all along. I went to find my brother Lucas. He has some kind of made-up title at the company. His office is in West Floyd on the Biddle floor Styradad. They're very goodly, we never whips at Elpima set of golf clubs and we bottle rarely see him use either. I knocked and walked in, a little nervousness in his voice.
Belinda, what are you doing here?
Lucas, Vivian took Grandma's cookbook.
Are you sure?
I saw the recipe sheets in R&D. Those recipes are only in Grandma's book.
Maybe she was just trying to protect the recipes. You know how it is. The company needs new products. The board is always pushing. Vivian's under a lot of pressure.
Protect them? She trademarked them. That book was Grandma's gift to me, not to the company. Lucas looked down. His fingers started tapping on the desk, fast and nervous.
Belinda, Vivian has it hard. The company's struggling. They need new products. The board wants growth every single day. The bank is calling out. Last week she had a stomach bleed and spent 3 days in the hospital.
So you just let her steal from Grandma?
It's not stealing. It's borrowing. She'll give it back.
No, she won't. You know she won't.
Lucas didn't answer. He's never been able to stand up to anyone. That weakness of his, that's exactly how Vivian controls him. He's been like that since we were kids. Mom used to call him the boy with no backbone. I knew he wasn't going to help me. I walked out of his office feeling cold and wisdom inside. People them knew the truth, but no one dared to saying anything. Vivian was the boss.
Mrs. Mendez, I'm on your side.
I didn't even know who he was. But his words were like a small beam of light. I didn't call the police, I didn't file a lawsuit, because I didn't have enough proof. My name wasn't in that cookbook, there was no will from Grandma. Legally it was family property, everyone's property. And Vivian, as CEO of the family group, had the authority to decide what happened to it. But I had something Vivian didn't have, memory. Grandma taught me every single dish. not from notes, hand over hand. She made me chop onions. She'd tell me mine too thick, sent with thin as paper. She'd say, that's how you get the sweetness out. She'd put her hand over mine and we chopped together. The blade made clean little pieces on the cutting board. She'd have me stir the sauce. I always stirred too fast. Take your time, needs patience. The wooden spoon would go in circles, the sauce bubbling, the smell filling the whole kitchen. I remembered the steps, the measurement, the heat, even the look on her face when she talked. So I decided not to fight her in court. I decided to cook instead. I went home, opened my laptop, set up a social media account. I called it Grandma's Kitchen. My profile picture was the two of us, her in her apron, me holding up a spoon. That photo was taken when I was 17. Her hair was standing at the stove and I was leaning against her. We were both laughing. In my bio, no corporation here, no trademarks, just Grandma's cooking. For my first video, I recreated Grandma's classic stew. You have to use beef brisket, cut into 2-centimeter cubes, not too big. Fry the onions until they're translucent. Saute the garlic, add the tomato paste, then let it simmer for 3 hours. This is what I smelled every single weekend when I was a kid. Grandma used to say that a stew is time's gift to us. The video was only 2 minutes long. It took me all day to film it. I kept reshooting, re-editing, over and over. Isabella wasn't working with me yet. I was alone, talking to my phone, feeling awkward and clumsy, but I believed that the food would speak for itself. My first live stream, maybe a dozen people watched. Most of them were friends and relatives. I showed the ingredients, did some chopping, let the stew cook on camera. I didn't mention Vivian, I didn't mention the company.
This is what Grandma taught me. I want you to taste it.
The comments started coming in. As I cooked, I answered their questions. Do you blub chance until the part a little brown in my chaver? But the feeling of cooking together with all those people, it was good. I wasn't alone anymore. A week later, I posted my second video on Grandma's garlic bread. The butter has to be at room temperature so it's soft. The garlic needs to be minced really fine, and you have to use day-old bread, a little dry so it soaks up more oven. 5 minutes later, the whole house smelled like garlic. The views went up to a few hundred. Someone in the comments asked, is this the same recipe the Mendez group uses? I didn't answer. I couldn't, because once I answered, it would open up everything I didn't want to deal with. Vivian called. Her voice wasn't as calm as usual. There was an edge to it.
Belinda, what are you doing?
Cooking.
You're using the company's recipes.
No, I'm using Grandma's recipes. She taught them to me.
It's the same thing. Those recipes are trademarked by the group.
No, it's not the same. Hers had love. You have profit. You changed the recipe, swapped out ingredients, cut steps. That's not Grandma's food.
She hung up. All I heard was the dial tone. I knew she was gonna come after me, but I wasn't scared. Because my food was better than her. Because I had better technique. Because I had better heart. Maria came to see me. She's been with the family forever. 30 years in Grandma's kitchen. Started as gray now and her back is a little humped, but her eyes are still sharp. She stood in my kitchen doorway holding a paper with a few apples in it. She handed me an envelope. Inside were photos. Vivian moving the safe out of the old house. The pictures were taken from the street corner across the way.
You took these?
Yes. I went to the old house to pick up an apron I'd left behind, and there she was. I followed her and took these.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I was scared. She fired me. 30 years I worked there. She said I didn't fit the company's image anymore. The truth is it was because I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. I put the photos away carefully.
Thank you, Maria. These will be useful.
What are you going to do?
Let everyone see the truth.
She took my hand. Her hands were rough, covered in calluses.
Your grandmother would be so proud of you. She always said you were the one most like her.
I nodded. The sun was coming through the window, hitting the stove. The copper pot was shining. I kept streaming. 3 times a week, all Grandma's recipes, stews, soups, breads, desserts. Views went from a few hundred to a few thousand, then tens of thousands. People started every a mix of feeling as belief or supports. But I knew that anyone who doubted would understand as soon as they took one bite. Vivian's company put out a statement saying my videos were infringing on their trademarks. I saw the statement on my phone. I felt calm respond. I just kept cooking. I made a pot of beans soup. Grandma all mold and leached out. Yes, half only way they'll get soft. He wanted to interview me. Just patience. We met at my place. He brought a photographer. Tom was in his 30s, wearing glasses, talking fast. Vivian's company put out a statement saying my videos were infringing on their trademarks. I saw the statement on my phone. I felt calm respond. I just kept cooking. I made a pot of beans soup. Grandma all mold and leached out. Yes, half only way they'll get soft. He wanted to interview me. Just patience. We met at my place. He brought a photographer. Tom was in his 30s, wearing glasses, talking fast.
Belinda, why don't you sue them?
Because I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it for Grandma.
So what do you want?
I want everyone to know those recipes don't belong to the corporation. They belong to Grandma, and I want everyone who's eaten their pre-made food to know what the real thing tastes like. He wrote a long article. The title was A Stolen Legacy. He included Maria's photos, Vivian moving the safe. The article got 100,000 shares. The comments exploded.
Vivian's lawyer called me and said, "You're defaming us."
I never said you stole anything. I just said the recipes belong to Grandma. The lawyer had nothing to say. He hung up. The group's pre-made food started having problems. Customers complained that the stew didn't as good as it used to. Some people stew bought the group screamed wet biting. They bought the trainer of their stew and tried it. That wasn't grandma's recipe. The sauce was tough and it was missing a key spice. Deep red chili that grandma brought back smelled from Mexico. Regular red chilies can't replace it. Vivian switched suppliers to cut costs. She used cheap substitutes. She thought no one would notice. But grandma's customers knew. People who'd been eating her cooking for decades, their tongues were more sensitive than any testing equipment. I kept cooking, kept streaming, kept labeling everything. Grandma's, not the corporations. I only cared about what was in the pot.
The group's stock price started falling. News broke about the Mendez group, recipe fraud, stealing a family legacy. Vivian held a press conference and denied everything.
All of the Mendez group's recipes were developed independently. There is no steal.
Then why does Belinda Mendez taste the same as your pre-made food?
Because she stole the group's recipes.
But she says her grandmother taught her. She has no proof. I sat at home watching TV. Her face was tight, her lips pressed into a thin line. She didn't have proof. I didn't either. But I knew one thing. The truth was in the taste. Tongues don't lie. That night I got a package in the mail. No return address. Brown paper wrapping, taped up over and over. I opened it. It was an old notebook. On the first page, in grandma's handwriting, Ana Mendez, my recipes. This wasn't the big cookbook part. This one was early one. This one was Ningor Sampisamis were the same as in the big book. But here's thing had date this one in 40s years before the group even existed. Who sent it? No name. But I knew was helping me. I held it against my chest and cried. I took photos of that old notebook and posted them online. The caption said Grandma's recipe D17 named even 20 years before the men's group existed. That's the proof. Vivian's lying. Belinda, we've got your back. Vivian's lawyer contacted me.
Where did you get that?
Someone sent it to me.
It's a fake.
Go ahead, get it authenticated. They didn't get it authenticated, because it was real. The paper had yellowed, the ink had faded, the corners had grease and greasy stains. The smell of grandma's from the air. The group stock kept falling. The board started questioning Vivian's decisions.
Lucas called me. His voice was ranky.
Belinda, why are you doing this?
Because I'm telling the truth.
Vivian's going to get pushed out of the board.
She made her own choices.
She's my wife.
And she's the one who stole Grandma's cupbook. Lucas went silent, then he hung up. I knew he was struggling, but this was a choice he had to make. He'd stayed silent for too long. Now he couldn't anymore. Vivian was forced to release the original recipes, not because she wanted to, because the board pressured her. She said it was to win back customer trust. She printed Grandma's recipes as a little booklet and included it with their products. Her face was on the cover. Customers weren't fooled. This doesn't taste like not Grandma's. I kept streaming, cooking Grandma's food. Every time I said this is Grandma's, not the corporation's, their version is missing chili, chilliness, and on the lovers. Team sent me a message. My account had over 1 million followers now. Not an influencer, a cook.
Same thing.
No. Influencers come and go. Cooking is for life.
I decided to open a restaurant. Not a chain, not a group. Just one small place. I used the money from my streams to rent a space as Tropsky Grandma's old house. Isabel, it used to be a grocery school. Came to 5 years. The fine, but the rent just wasn't bad. Sazana Crossant along the culinary Simi. She'd seen my videos on back. Her eyes bright.
Then come on in.
Belinda, can I be your assistant?
You're willing to wash dishes, chop vegetables, sweep floors in a tiny place like this?
Yes.
I kept streaming, cooking Grandma's food. Every time I said this is Grandma's, not the corporation's, their version is missing chili, chilliness, and on the lovers. Team sent me a message. My account had over 1 million followers now. Not an influencer, a cook.
Same thing.
No. Influencers come and go. Cooking is for life.
I decided to open a restaurant. Not a chain, not a group. Just one small place. I used the money from my streams to rent a space as Tropsky Grandma's old house. Isabel, it used to be a grocery school. Came to 5 years. The fine, but the rent just wasn't bad. Sazana Crossant along the culinary Simi. She'd seen my videos on back. Her eyes bright. She became my first employee. Just the two of us. Painting walls, laying floors, installing the kitchen. I painted the walls. Isabel laid the floor. The stove we found at a flea market. We named the place Grandma's Kitchen. Hand-lettered wooden sign hanging by the door. On opening day there was a long line out the door. People came from other cities just to taste Grandma's stew. In 3 months, the group lost 30% of its market share. The board removed Vivian as CEO and demoted her to a regular director. Lucas was also moved out of management, kept a meaningless title, nothing more.
Belinda, are you happy now?
Vivian called me. Her voice was exhausted.
Like she'd used up every last bit of energy.
She stole Grandma's cookbook. She cheated customers with cheap ingredients. She pushed Maria out. She controlled Lucas. Everything that happened to her, she chose it. Lucas came to see me. He sat down in my restaurant and ordered a bowl of stew. He took one bite and started the bowl. He didn't wipe them, crying.
This is Mom's cooking.
It's Grandma's.
I know.
You knew all along. But you didn't say anything.
I was wrong.
Doesn't matter now. He lowered his head. I filled another bowl for him. He ate again, not saying a word.
I'm going to get a divorce.
When he finished, he stood up and looked at me. I didn't answer. My restaurant kept getting busier, limited portions every day. When it's gone, it's gone. I don't do pre-made food, no delivery, dine-in only, because Grandma's food doesn't taste right when it gets cold.
Why don't you do delivery? I said to be eaten right out the door, but some things just don't track.
Maria came to help out at the restaurant. She's knife skills are still better than any young cook I know. Grandma taught her how to cut, one stroke, and every slice comes out the same thickness.
Belinda, your grandmother would be so proud of you.
She's watching me. She's watching me from somewhere up there.
I bet she's smiling.
I smiled. Isabelle was improving fast. Her sauces were starting to taste like Grandma's.
I asked her, "What do you want to do with your future?"
Open my own restaurant.
Good. I'll support you.
Grace, an old friend of Grandma's, came to eat at the restaurant. She was almost 80, walked with a cane, but still had plenty of energy. She wore a purple coat. Her hair was combed perfectly.
Belinda, your cooking tastes exactly like your grandmother's.
I'm not even close.
Yes, you are. She taught you well.
She taught me so much.
She said it when you were young, that you were the granddaughter most like her. I didn't believe it then. I do now. Her lips trembled a little. Her fingers tightened around the spoon.
This is it, she said. This is the taste.
You remember?
I ate this pudding for 50 years. How could I forget?
Vivian sued me. She claimed I was stealing trade secrets. She said the recipes I was streaming belonged to group, but they'd trademark them. I hired a lawyer, not expensive, but reliable. Mr. Chen'd known Grandma when she was a will. He knew the whole story.
In court, lawyer Chen asked Vivian when did the Mendez group register these recipes?
5 years ago.
And when did Belinda Mendez start showing these recipes on social media?
Last year.
And do you know when Ana Mendez, Belinda's grandmother, first wrote down these recipes?
I don't know.
Let me tell you, 30 years ago, long before the Mendez group even existed.
Do you have anything to say?
I'm dropping the case.
The judge ruled against her and ordered her to pay my legal fees. I won the case, but I didn't feel like celebrating, because it wasn't really a win, it was just the truth coming out. Vivian didn't appeal, she disappeared, went to Europe. Lucas stayed in Chicago alone, he didn't go after her. He came to the restaurant every day, sat in the corner, didn't say much, just ate, then left.
Are you okay?
Fine.
You're lying.
He didn't answer. I knew he wasn't okay, but he'd made his own choices. A few times I tried to talk to him, he just stared down at his bowl and said nothing. Eventually, I stopped asking.
I reorganized Grandma's recipes and made them into a little book. Not to sell, just to give to her old friends. It had photocopies of her handwritten notes and a few of her photos. She always said that someday someone would remember her cooking. Now someone does.
I nodded. I wasn't just remembering her food, I was remembering her. That woman who spent her whole life in the kitchen, she cooked love into every dish. There was always flour under her fingernails. Always grease stands on her apron, her hands rough but they were gentle. My restaurant was named Best New Restaurant by the Chicago Tribune. The reporter was a young woman. She came with a photographer, asked a lot of questions.
What's your secret?
No secret. I just use Grandma's methods.
And what are Grandma's methods?
Cooking with your heart. She didn't really understand. She didn't need to. She just wrote the article, which said, "This little place has the best stew in Chicago." After the article came out, the line out front got even longer. People waited 2 hours for one bowl of stew. The group's new CEO wanted to do a collaboration, a co-branded product line. Her name was Amanda, 40 years old, short hair, sharp and efficient. She sat in my restaurant, ordered a bowl of stew, and ate it slowly.
Belinda, we want to work with you. You bring your brand, we bring our distribution. Win-win.
I'm not interested.
Why? Because Grandma's food isn't meant to be mass-produced. Some things can only be made in small batches, slowly. We can improve the process. Changing the process changes the taste.
If you change your mind, let me know.
I won't. She left.
Don't you need money?
Yes, I do. But not this way.
Then how?
Cook the right food. Sell it to the right people. She nodded. She was starting to understand. Maria retired. On her last day, she came to the restaurant and made her signature corn tortillas.
Belinda, I can't chop anymore. My hands hurt.
You rest. I'll handle it.
You need rest too.
I'm not tired.
You're lying.
I laughed. She was the only person who'd call me out like that. When she finished the tortillas, we split them. They were warm, and the corn flavor just spread through your mouth.
Did Grandma teach you this?
No, I taught myself, but she stood right next to me and watched. She said, Maria, you can do this.
An old woman came to the restaurant. She said she used to be Grandma's neighbor. She brought a photo, Grandma when she was young, wearing an apron, standing in her kitchen. The photo was black and white, but Grandma's eyes were bright.
I've kept this all these years. She was always bringing me food.
You ate her cooking?
Yes. And hers was better than yours.
I know.
But you get close.
Thank you.
She gave me the photo. I hung it on the wall, next to all the others. Next to it, a copy of Grandma's recipes, her apron, the wooden spoon she used to use. Lucas came to see me and said he wanted a divorce. I looked him in the eyes. I wasn't surprised. He'd lost weight. His hair was a mess. His clothes were wrinkled.
You've made up your mind?
Yes.
She won't agree to it.
I'll get a lawyer.
Suit yourself. He left. I didn't try to talk him out of it. Some roads you have to walk alone. As he left, I saw his hands shaking. He got in his car and sat there a long time before starting the engine. Vivian came back from Europe. She didn't come to see me, and she didn't go to Lucas. She went to the group headquarters and resigned. The board approved it.
Belinda, you done.
It's not about winning. It's about doing what's right.
What's the difference?
Winning is about beating someone else. Doing what's right is about living with yourself.
I'm giving back what belongs to your grandmother. The cookbook is in the safe at the old house. I put it back.
When did you put it there?
Yesterday. I don't know why I stole it in the first place.
Because you wanted to win.
She hung up. I went to the old house and opened the safe. The leather-bound cookbook was lying there, quiet and still. I opened to the first page. Grandma then sat there for a long time. The kitchen still smelled like Grandma, even though she was gone. I made a copy of the cookbook and donated it to the Chicago History Museum, not for fame, so more people could see Grandma's handwriting.
Why are you donating this?
Because something this good shouldn't be hidden away.
Won't the Mendez group object?
It's none of their business. The museum put the cookbook in a glass case. Next to it a plaque that said, Chicago's Kitchen Mother. I went to see it. There was a crowd around the case. They didn't know who my grandmother was. Isabel was ready to go out on her own. She opened a little shop on the other side of the city, selling Grandma's desserts. I went to support her on opening day. She made creme caramel and it was good. The top had that thin layer of caramel. When you cracked through it, the creamy custard underneath was rich with vanilla.
Belinda, did you try it? I tried it. It's delicious.
Really?
Really? You're ready.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. Someday you'll help someone else.
She nodded. She hugged me and didn't let go for a long time. My restaurant got a mention in the Michelin Guide. Not a star, just a mention, but I didn't care. Because Grandma never got a star either, and her cooking was better than the of starred restaurants.
A reporter asked me what's next for me.
Keep cooking.
No expansion?
A young guy came to see me. He said he'd watched my streams and wanted to learn to cook. His name was Marco, 20 years old, just graduated from community college, curly hair, bright eyes, talked fast.
Belinda, can I study under you?
Are you willing to wash dishes?
Yes.
Then come on in.
He became my second employee. He's Mexican, like Grandma was. He said his mom is a cook too, but fast food. He wanted to learn slow cooking.
Slow cooking.
I have patience.
He learned fast, steady knife work,
Good.
Precise seasoning. He had a natural instinct, knew exactly how much salt to add, exactly when the heat was too high.
He's got more talent than I do.
Grace passed away, 92 years old, went to sleep and didn't wake up. I went to her funeral and stood in the back. Her daughter came over and took my hand.
Before mine, she said your cooking is just good as your grandmother's.
I cried. That was the first time Grace had ever praised me. The bowl sat on the stone marker. The sun hit it, and it glowed like a little lamp. The group had a new CEO, Amanda. She came to see me, hoping I'd come back as a consultant. She sat in my restaurant, ate a bowl of stew, and was quiet for a long time.
Belinda, we need you. You don't need me. You need a conscience. What do you mean?
Make real food. Stop making fake food. She was quiet for a long time. You're right, but I knew she wouldn't change, because Prof weighs more than conscience. I said no. As she left, she looked back at me. Your grandma was lucky to have a granddaughter like you. and I was lucky to have her. Grandma's old house was going to be torn down. Developers were putting up apartments. I went to see it one last time. The kitchen was still there, the stove was still there. The spot where she stood for decades was still there. I touched the stove. My hand came away dusty. In the cracks between the bricks you could still see old grease stains from back in the day. Took a photo and posted it online. The caption said a final goodbye. A lot of people commented, "Don't tear it down, that's history." But it didn't matter. The house came down. On the spot where it stood I planted an apple tree. Apples were Grandma's favorite fruit. The tree was small, but I knew it would grow. I watered it, fertilized it, took care of it like a little living thing.
Marco was ready to go out on his own. He went back to Mexico and opened a small shop in his hometown, selling Grandma's stew. He sent me a photo.
There was a long line out front. Hanging in his shop was a replica of Grandma's apron, the one I'd given him.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I smiled. He was younger than me, more patient than me, better at seasoning than me. He was Grandma's real heir. He'd found the exact dried chili that Grandma used, the one you can't buy anywhere. He planted it in his own backyard.
When the chilies turn red, I'll send you some. An old man came into my restaurant. He said he'd been Grandma's sweetheart when she was young. He was 95 years old, white hair, leaning on a cane. His eyes were cloudy, but his strong. When I was young, I almost married her.
What happened?
I went to war. She waited for me for 3 years. I never came back.
She married my grandfather.
I know. But I've always wondered, what did her cooking taste like? This is it. This is the taste. She made this for me back then.
He cried for a long time. I sat next to him and didn't say anything.
Tell her I finally tasted her cooking.
She's gone.
She knows.
The group's pre-made food had problems again. People got sick, vomiting, diarrhea, and ended up in the hospital. Health inspectors found that their factory wasn't meeting sanitation standards. The group was forced to recall everything. Their stock price hit rock bottom.
Amanda called me. "Belinda, can you help us?" "No."
Why?
"Because you haven't changed." "Not really." I knew they wouldn't change. Because for them, profit is heavier than conscience, heavier than taste, heavier than people's health. The director was a young woman. She asked a lot of questions.
Do you hate Vivian? No. Why not? Because hating her would make me weaker.
When the documentary aired, a lot of people saw Grandma's story. Donations came in. People offered to fund me opening more restaurants. I said no. All I wanted was for Grandma's cooking to be remembered. I'm 52 now, still at the restaurant, still cooking. My hair's gone gray, my hands shake a little, but the food still tastes the same. Isabella has opened her 3rd restaurant. She came to visit me.
Belinda, you should retire.
No.
Why?
Because there are still people waiting for me.
Who?
The ones who miss my grandmother's cooking. She smiled. She understood. She sat across from me and drank the soup I'd made.
It's still the same.
Yes.
How do you do it?
I don't know. Maybe it's just habit. Marco came back from Mexico to see me. He brought dried chilies from his hometown, the exact kind Grandma used back in the day.
Belinda, try one.
The chilies were shriveled, deep red, with a smoky smell. I tried one. It was so strong, my eyes started watering. This is it. This is the taste.
I looked for a long time.
Thank you.
You're my teacher.
He helped out at the restaurant for a week and taught me a few Mexican dishes. I couldn't learn them properly, but I sure could eat them. I didn't really retire. I still come to the restaurant every day, sit in the corner, drink coffee, and watch Isabella cook.
Are you Belinda? Yes. Where's your cooking? I don't cook anymore. She does. She still cooks better than me. You're lying.
Marco opened another location in Mexico, still using Grandma's recipes. He called and said, "Belinda, your name is a brand over here."
Not my name. Grandma's.
Same thing.
Today, I'm sitting under Grandma's apple tree. It's grown tall now, full of fruit. I pick one and take a bite. Sweet. The wind blows through the leaves, and they rustle. I close my eyes, and I can almost hear her voice.
Belinda, come taste this. Too salty or not enough?
My phone rings. It's Isabel.
Belinda, the restaurant is packed today. People say they came because of your video.
Then cook well for them.
I will.
Oh, and your creme caramel. The caramel is a little burnt. Turn the heat down a bit.
Got it.
She hangs up. I look at the apple tree and think of Grandma. She planted one too, when she was young, in her backyard. That tree died a long time ago. But her cooking, that's still here. I stand up and brush the dirt off my pants. My pockets are bulging with apples. I walk back into the restaurant. The pot on the stove is simmering, bubbling.
3 months after Isabel took over the restaurant, a small fire broke out, caused by short-circuited 1980s wiring in the wall. At 2 a.m., Belinda jolted awake to her phone.
Belinda, the restaurant, it's on fire.
Belinda ran 6 blocks to find fire trucks seen, thick smoke rolling, foul-smelling water pouring out the broken windows.
Isabel sat on the curb wrapped in a fire blanket, face smudged with stoat, trembling and tearful. Belinda held her ice-cold hands.
I messed up.
You didn't. It was old wiring. I don't blame you. Isabel leaned on her shoulder and sobbed. Belinda rubbed her back like Grandma used to. At dawn, the wreckage lay scattered. Belinda retrieved Grandma's charred wooden spoon, wiped it clean, and kept it. The fire chief confirmed old wiring caused the fire. The Grandma's kitchen sign split in two, swaying in the wind.
Belinda, what do we do now?
Isabel is stirring the sauce, slowly.
Turn the heat down just a little more.
Okay.
I'm not just talking about the flame, I'm talking about you. Slow down. When you slow down, the flavor really gets in.
She nods. She gets it.
We start over.
We didn't have insurance. Not because we forgot. We just thought we'd never need it. We'd been renting that old place for 2 years and nothing had ever gone wrong. Isabella offered to pay for the damages. I shook my head.
You don't have the money.
I can work and pay you back.
No need. It wasn't your fault.
I went home, opened a drawer, and took out my passbook. The balance read $23,600. That was money I'd saved for 3 years, set aside for a new stove.
Isabel also brought out her savings, a brown envelope containing $12,000, all 20s, stacked neatly.
She said it was money she'd saved since she was 18, working odd jobs.
That's everything you have?
Yeah.
You're okay with using it?
The restaurant is more important than money.
I took it. That night, Marco called from Mexico. It was daytime there. I could hear roosters crowing in the background.
Belinda, I heard what happened. I wired you $5,000.
That's too much.
No, it's not. Grandma's kitchen can't go under. Everything you taught me, it's worth that much.
I was quiet for a moment.
The chili peppers are really good this year. Bright red. Next time I'll bring you a whole sack.
The next day at noon, someone knocked on the door.
I opened it, and there was Maria, holding a cloth bag. She was getting old, needed to hold the dwarf home to walk, but her eyes were still sharp.
Belinda, this is for you.
From the bag she pulled out a thick envelope, wrapped with a rubber band. Inside was a stack of cash, hundreds, tens, 20s.
This is my retirement money. Use it for now.
I can't, Maria. That's your safety net.
Your grandmother lent me money once, years ago, and I never paid her back. My son was sick, just pulled a wad of cash from her apron pocket and handed it to me. I never did, and she never asked. So they couldn't hold back my tears any her back.
I hugged her. She was so thin I could feel her bones.
The renovation took 2 months. Every day from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, Isabel and I did the work ourselves. We painted the walls, laid the floors, and hired someone for the wiring. We weren't brave enough to do that ourselves. I learned how to use a level, Isabel to break calluses and cuts, and there was always drywall dust under our fingernails. At noon we'd squat by the door and eat cold boxed lunches, laughing while we chewed.
Belinda, look at my hands.
Better than me. When I was learning to chop, I sliced off a piece of my fingernail.
Did it grow back?
It grew back, but that part is flat now, no curve. Grandma's dead white photo of Grandma on the wall had gotten wet, the corner was curled, and part of the image was blurred.
I took it to a restoration shop and paid $300. The owner was an old man who wore a magnifying lootle and worked on it bit by bit for 3 days. When I picked it up, Grandma's face was clear again, and the light was back in her eyes. The stove came from a fiend market, a restaurant that was going out of business. It was a 6-burner cast iron beast so heavy it took 4 people to carry. She patted my back with her rough, sandpapery palms.
Don't cry. You're a Mendez woman. We don't cry.
I wiped my tears and put the money away. That night I made a list: bricks, cement, lumber, wiring, paint, stove, pots, pans, dishes. The total made me winch, but I folded the list and put it in my pocket. It's enough, I told myself.
The guy wanted $3,000. I talked him down to $2,200.
You know your stuff. A new one like that would cost 20 grand.
I scrubbed that stove 3 times, got rid of the rust, and revealed the black metal shine underneath. All 4 burners worked. The 2 oven doors were a little crooked, but it didn't matter. The night before we reopened, I sat alone in the restaurant. The lights were on, the walls were white, the stove gleamed. Grandma's wooden spoon hung by the stove. I'd sanded down the burnt part of the handle and re-oiled it. The photos were hung in rows on the wall with Grandpa in the center. I sniffed the air of fresh paint and lumber and a little something else. Maybe my imagination. Maybe it was Grandma. The smell of onions and corn tortillas mixed together. Grandma, we open tomorrow. No one answered. But the wind nudged the window, and the curtain moved. I smiled. I knew you were here. Always. The stove is ready. The soup will boil again. The spoon is home. The kitchen is alive again.
Belinda, we're ready.
We're ready. Today, we cook again. Grandma's kitchen never really left. It was just waiting for us to come back.